Hello again, podcasters. Nice to see you. I'm sorry, you can. There we go. That's a slightly better view, isn't it? Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast, Backseat Positivity, where we have fun, we be positive, is that a sentence? And we talk about self-improvement topics, or kind of just, I guess, lifestyle topics. So we're in the relationship series, if you don't know, but it doesn't matter if you don't, because there is no continuation from the series. It's just random episode after random episode. But I guess I might talk about, when I talked about this thing in this episode, but it doesn't matter. You can just go back and listen to it. It's all fun. So today I'm sorry I look like a bank robber again. It's really cold. 3 degrees or something, so I need my little neckerchief and my hat on, so okay, we have how many topics? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-ish chapters or discussion topics of common dating words or like phrases, as in, well, you'll figure it out when we talk about the first one, because our first one is our family favourite, which is ghosting. But if you're new here, welcome, by the way, welcome. If you're old here, welcome back. I'm Dawn, I'm a doctor, but content creation master in the process. So we also do a section called Weird Thoughts. We do that about halfway. I did have one and then I completely forgot it, so I've come up with another one because I have lots of weird thoughts. They have no particular relevance, although recently they have been relevant to the relationship theme, so there we go. Okay, number 1, like I said, our family favourite, our common friend that many of us may well know and love not, is ghosting. Oh guys, I've talked about this one in my Tinder. I did a 3-part Tinder series, I guess you could call it, if you're listening on YouTube. Unfortunately, it's not on YouTube because I just can't find the recording for it. I think I probably deleted it. But if you're listening on the podcast / if you want to listen to the podcast, if you're on YouTube, then you can go on to, I think was it the bad or the ugly? It might have been the ugly. I think ghosting is one of the worst things. Well, that, and we've got quite a few bad ones coming up. Let's go from, in fact, I'm going to reorder them. YOLO. I'm going to reorder them so that we go best, arguably best. I mean, some of them aren't the best. And then worst, because the last one is quite worse. So I feel like we've started talking about ghosting now, should we carry it on? Yeah, let's carry it on. That was my decision. So ghosting, come on. If you're new to the dating world, or if you've never been in the dating world, the online dating world, I mean, because it's quite hard to ghost somebody who you actually know, as in, you're not really going to ghost someone who you've met like through friends of a friend, because it's quite hard to do that. It's quite hard to be a dick, because you know they're friends, and then you know that you're probably going to see them again, and it's going to be all awkward, and you're going to look like a bad person. But when it's online, all of that seems to go out of the window, and it doesn't matter. Oh wait, but it does. Yeah, I was joking. It does matter. Don't fucking ghost people, alright? It's a shit thing to do. So, yeah, I've been ghosted a few times, if you can't tell, but who hasn't? If anybody's on the online dating world, you have probably been ghosted, because it's a very common thing to do, and it's like a very chickenous, I'm coming up with lots of new words today, it's a very chickenous thing to do. People don't want the confrontation, or it's literally like a couple of texts. What you think if you say to somebody, oh, I'm not really keen on like dating anymore. Like, it's not me, it's you. Wait, no, it's not you, it's me. You think people are going to be like, what the fuck? Why? Oh my God, I can't believe it. They might ask why. Or, they might be a little bit like perturbed. Is that the right word? But they're not going to have a full fucking breakdown. Now, some of them, on the other hand, as we go through the list, are, breakdown worthy, I would say. Yeah, I've been ghosted a few times. And I mean, just online dating in general, just like, I don't know, I hate it so much. It just makes you feel shit because people like to boost their egos, so they like to have somebody to talk to, but they don't actually have any intention of wanting to date, or they'll lie to you. So maybe I've had some bad experiences, but I'm also talking about other friends of mine's experiences, so it's not just me. Have there been some nice people out there? Yeah, of course I have. Have I been a dick? Probably at some point. Like, I'll admit to that. I think I've ghosted somebody until I kind of thought, no, I'm not going to do that anymore, because I don't want to be like, I don't want to upset somebody as much as it upsets me, and it's just not worth it. Right, let's move on, because there's a lot of topics here. I'm sorry if I sound like I've got a cold. Basically, I've got sinus problems, eye roll, and my nose is like getting really bad refractory congestion, but I don't want to use the spray because then I'll get it again, or do I just use it? But anyway, that's a unimportant subject for you, but it might affect the way I sound. If you think, by the way, Dawn, this is a crap order, like obviously this one's worse than this one, tell me. I'll be like, yeah, fair enough. I might have them in the wrong order, to be fair. Because I said ghosting first, and arguably I'd say that's worse up the list. Let me know. Ooh, sorry. Let me know what your experiences are. Maybe you've never had any of these. Like, if you've dated online and never had any of these happen to you, I am surprised. You've been doing something wrong, and you need to share your tips with us. Like, I need to know what you're doing. Not that I'm dating, but I need to know what you're doing so that I can pass it on to the listeners, because people need to know what your game is. Like, what's going on? How have you never been ghosted? I feel like even if you're Angelina Jolie, like, someone will probably find a way to ghost you. Like, probably. Okay. Which one would come next? Oh, okay. Ooh. Okay, I think that one's probably worse. Okay, I'm gonna say... Okay. Oh, this is really hard to choose between them. Let's say, okay, the next one is slow dating. Let's do this one. Because, although I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think the way it's kind of termed or coined is a good thing, as in, you don't want to like meet up straight away and just like go and fuck and like, yeah, let's like date and then let's move in together and let's do everything really quickly. Like, that's taking things very quickly. Maybe we do that too often nowadays, but sorry, I always, if you're new here, by the way, I just yawn when I'm podcasting. I think it's because I talk continuously, so I just end up yawning. Also, I'm quite tired, but when I have other people here, I don't seem to yawn. But also, it is only 4 p.m, so it can't be because it's late. But I think it might be because I didn't sleep very much last night. Oh my god, I've got so much done today. If you don't follow my YouTube channel, please go and watch my video, which is going to come out today, which is, I don't have a name for it yet. It's about doing all the things that you dread. It will come out on the 2nd of March, which is today. And go and watch it, because oh god, I'm so sorry. Because I don't know, do I talk about, I do talk about how much I got done in that day, actually. That day, back old then, good times. Also, I took my car to the garage, and concerningly, they haven't called me to say it's done. I'm a bit worried they're going to call me like halfway through this podcast, which is a true possibility, so I'm sorry for that if that happens. But let's hope it doesn't. Anyway, again, off topic, but we need some little segues. You know, that's just how conversation goes. You don't want to hear me go A to B with no X, Y, and Z in the middle. You want to hear A, X, B, Y, C, Z, don't you? Yeah, of course you do. All right, slow dating. Yeah, not wanting to meet straight away. So I think I am slightly against this, to be honest. All right, I am. Because I've had the issue before where I literally spoke to one guy for 2 months, and then it came to like meeting time and he bailed, and I was like, wow, literally all of that time spent for nothing. And it was just kind of like, what was the point from my end? I mean, he just wanted like someone to talk to, I think, or maybe he'd like bigged it up so much in his head that he was now like, oh fuck. But the way to get around this, I think, is to talk on the phone before you meet. If somebody doesn't want to meet straight away, that's probably fine. But I think the issue was that we didn't talk on the phone or FaceTime or whatever, and that kind of breaks that barrier of getting to 2 months and then being like, oh shit, we've got to meet now. But also it breaks the barrier from my end being like, well, I know that, you know, if they're going to chicken out of FaceTime, then they're definitely never going to meet me in real life. And as much as I love having the attention, I want to meet people in real life. Sorry, I just do. Okay, virtual boyfriend is not good enough for me. So although it can be coined as a positive thing, which is, you know, you look online and it's like, oh, everyone's, you know, we're taking things slowly now, we're mindfully dating, it's a good time. But I think you can see it in a different light as well. God, I actually can't wait to go to bed tonight. I'm already excited. So I went to bed at like 2 a.m. last night, bad times, and woke up at like 8ish, so 6 hours sleep is like not that bad, but I definitely should get more than that. And it's been a very busy day, so lots of yawns. Dawn yawns a lot. All right. Cuffing season. Come on, guys. You must know this one, right? Even if you don't do online dating, cuffing season is a thing. Because cuffing season can refer to, I guess, people that you just know. Basically, you have like a partner, or maybe not going so far as saying partner. You have a person who you kind of just use for winter, and you know, it's nice to have somebody in winter because it's like cold and you know, rainy, and you want to like be snuggly, maybe get presents, but you don't actually want like a long-term thing. And when summer comes around, you're like released back into the wild. Now, I've kind of put this not that high on the list, although the way I've described it is quite negative, but I think as long as you're both on the same page, now whether this happens or not, I don't know, as long as you're both on the same page and you're like, yeah, I only want this for like winter, then fine. Like, what's the problem? Win-win. You both get snuggle buddy and you get to save on heating, which is not a problem in my opinion. I'd quite like to pay less for my bills, and you get to spend time with someone in the darkest hours. But let's say I'm dating somebody as a cuff. Is that what you call it? I don't know. I'm cuffing somebody, right? But they don't know about it. And then it gets to like May and I'm like, bye, I'm going on holiday. I'll see you next winter. Maybe not quite like that. But, you know, it's just like, oh, thanks. I thought we could like go on holiday together or something, but now you're off. Okay, bye. So that is a bit of a kick in the teeth, isn't it? So yeah, I think it can be, I mean, yeah, all of those could be taken one way or the other. There are some, the ones coming up like are kind of no, like they can only be bad. By the way, at the end, I'm going to make some future dating predictions. And I'll give you a little tidbit. As of yet, right this moment, I do not know yet what I'm going to say. So it's all a mystery, even to me and to you. Okay, let's move on. Number 4, I think. Zumping. Now, I can't see that this is a thing anymore, surely, but a lot of the articles I read were talking about something called zumping, which was Zoom dumping. So basically, I mean, it's kind of obvious, right? You call somebody up on Zoom and then you dump them, and it was mainly over COVID and the pandemic. Guys, I want to say something about the pandemic. Because I've been watching Sweet Tooth on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, it's like a post-apocalyptic series, but it's like fucking great. It's not like scary. I've been watching. I showed it to Tom. He loves it too because I knew that he'd love it. And I watched it for the first time in lockdown. Now it's all about a virus. This is maybe a spoiler, but I mean, you're going to find out this as soon as you watch it anyway. So it's about a virus that basically like takes over the world and makes everybody unwell, and it was kind of like COVID. I was like, fuck. And then I remembered after I started watching it again, and also, oh yeah, some people have said to me recently like, oh, I've had COVID and I've been inside for 10 days, and I'm like, are people still like isolating? What the hell? Like, I can't believe that. I forgot it was even a thing. I guess because I'm not in hospital. You know, when you're in hospital, it's like everyone's wearing masks and then people talk about it. But when you're at home, it's so easy to forget that it even happened. In fact, I think I'm pushing it out of my mind actively. I'm like, no, I don't want to think about that awful time. It really was awful, and that's what I wanted to conclude. I wanted to tell you that I hated it, but who didn't? I put on weight. I guess got less fit in the process. I was very anxious and I was very sad. Yeah, it was just shit. I hated it. I can't tell you how much more I hated it than that. I just can't even believe it was a thing. Oh, gross. Maybe give this video a like if you hated the pandemic as much as me. Like, it was so miserable. I can't even like put into words how miserable it was, except the fact that I'm like talking about it now so incessantly, like 1 or 2 years after it's done. Thankfully I didn't actually know anybody that died, as in like personally. Obviously I knew people that died, but so yeah, it wasn't so bad from that respect for me, but and like my immediate surroundings, but yeah, I just wanted to share with you that sudden recollection of the horror that ensued in 2019, 2020 and 2021. Fucking hell. I hated it. I never want to go through that again. I think if it happened again, I really think I'd buy like a cabin in the woods or something. You know, that's actually like a really creepy film, isn't it? I'd buy like a nice retreat in the woods and just go and run about naked with my dogs and just, that's it. Okay, segue. Where did we get to? We did cuffing season, zumping. Oh yeah, that's because I was talking about zumping. And we don't do, I don't think zumping nowadays is acceptable unless you're doing long distance. But then if you're doing long distance, haven't you been dating for a long time to get to the point where you would dump them? I wouldn't do it over call. So I think it was acceptable over COVID is what I was trying to say. Because we couldn't travel, we couldn't meet people, so we couldn't even leave the house at some points. Oh, God, it was so bad. I can't even comprehend it anymore. Oh. Okay. So yeah, I don't think it sounds that bad, and actually I read a BuzzFeed article about it that was like, yes, that's my source, that was like saying about actually being zumped is much better than the alternative, which we're going to talk about in a bit. So although it's shit to be dumped, at least they had some respect rather than treating you in a different kind of way that's definitely more shit. Okay, I feel like this one's got to be next. Should we chuck in a weird thought? I think so. I really wish I remembered the other one that I had because it was really good. I should write them down as I have them. Although, annoyingly, all of my weird thoughts happen, or like even some of my like really ingenious thoughts, which there are many, they happen in really annoying places. The shower and when I'm driving are the main ones, or sometimes when I'm in bed, like just lying there, but like I've turned off the light, you know, it's not time to turn the light back on and write it down. So I've used voice notes a lot, but unfortunately there's a lot of, I'm a very visual person, so for me having lots of voice notes, I need to know what's in them, but they're not categorized, they're just random. Anyway, maybe one day I'll listen to them all and be like, oh my God, I've been sitting on $1 million idea there. How did I not do that earlier? Wow, I went off on a tangent again. Oh, weird thoughts. Okay, writing weird thoughts down. Okay. I don't know that, again, this is not that weird, but it is weird, but it's like one of those things that you don't think about, and then when you think about it really hard, you're like, oh, that's crazy. And I think if you think about anything really, really hard, you think, that's crazy. I don't know, let's pick a random object. Curtains. If I think about them really hard, are they that weird? Sheet covering window on a rail. But I guess that's not the weird bit. Maybe the weird bit is that we have a window in the first place, and we have a house, and we try and block out light with curtains when really, surely we should just have the light come in. Isn't that what we should do? Like have light come into our rooms? Because if we lived out in the wilderness, then the light would just be wherever it wants. And also you think, wow, I'm in a house with a window. Like I have a house. Well, I don't have a house, but I live in a house. And that doesn't sound that weird, but actually when you think about it, you're like, I just really think about it. Like I live in a box, 4 walls of brick. Or maybe plasterboard if you've got those, you know, one of those new builds. And you might live on your own. It's just so different to society and gone by, you know, where everyone would live with their family, and maybe you even wouldn't live in a house. You'd live in like a little hut or a shed, or I don't know. And then you got to think about the story of how the curtain came about. But anyway, that isn't even my weird thought. My weird thought is about eggs. Yes, eggs. 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 Are they a single cell or are they not? I would say they are, but yet I came from an egg. You also came from an egg. We all came from eggs. Admittedly, we also had a bit of sperm in there too, but eggs, both eggs and sperm together contain genetic material to create a multicellular, multi-organed being. I just find that crazy. And this is kind of why I went to medicine, because it's like, it still amazes me every time when you just actually think about, just really think about the intricacy of how, molecules move through cells, which are tiny, you can't even see a cell, and then think about how many molecules are moving around there. It's not just like a bit of sodium. No, it's honestly mind-blowing how much is going on inside of your body and you just don't realise it, and it honestly blows my mind. I can't handle it. I just can't think about it too much, otherwise I just can't, because I once saw somebody's brain. It's not a thing you see often, okay, but I once saw somebody's brain and okay, I poked it. I was allowed to poke it, they were dead, but anyway, I poked it, and I remember looking at them and being like, oh my god, okay, I'm getting flashbacks. I remember being like, your essence, your human, I don't believe in souls, right, but your human personality, everything you ever knew is in there, and now it's out of you, and it's got so many cells in it. I literally But then you think about the cells, right? There's like a neuron, and then how do they remember stuff? I can't. Honestly, there are some things that you shouldn't think about too much. Maybe that is one of them. I need to reset the camera midway through and have to scarp her off. Right, that's weird thoughts over. Oh, it's just turned off. Okay, BRB. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, people. Okay, let's move on. We've got a few more, and then I'm going to have to go at some point, because surely my carney's picking up. Alright, I would say probably this one is next. Benching. Now, this is basically, they kind of say what they mean on the tin. It's basically where somebody wants you as like a side hustle. Some other people call it like garlic bread, like you're their garlic bread. I remember hearing that once. Or side chick. Is side dick a term? I don't know, like side chick, side dick, I don't know. But maybe I've just made one up. But yeah, it's basically like you may be dating somebody else, but that person, if that one doesn't work out, then you've always got your side person. I don't think this is that good. Now, it depends what that person who you're side benching wants from you. Do they just want a loose sexual friends with benefits relationship type thing? Or are they actually thinking, oh, this is something more? Oh my god, I've just uncovered as a disaster here. Do they actually think, oh, this is something more? Why do they keep coming and going? Well, if they think it's something more and you're just fucking them about, then I'm not down for that. But if they're quite happy with that situation, I think it's just all about honesty. I think that's what the conclusion that we're coming to here. If you're just honest with people, then all is good, it seems. All is good in the hood. Right, let's move on to orbiting. Then we've got Yeah, then we've got that one, then we've got that one. Done. Orbiting. Basically, when somebody says, I'm not interested anymore, sorry, but then they keep interacting with you on social media. So it's not like, they're not like maybe they might be messaging you, but sometimes they're like liking your stuff, or they're still following you on social media, or they watch your stories or stuff like that. It's kind of like, well, what are you doing? Like, are you interested? Are you not? Why are you still... I understand if you wanted to like make it a friends thing and you're still in touch, but if someone's just like literally orbiting around you then why? But also, I feel like this is only necessarily a modern day thing. Like, would you orbit in pre-internet times? I don't know, because you can't really, it might not specifically be talking about liking stuff and watching people's stories, but I guess it might be akin to I don't know, like talking, if it wasn't online dating, if there wasn't the internet, it might be like talking to that person's friend at the shop or something about that person, but you're actually not interested. I don't know. Or talking to somebody else about them. Somebody put like a nice term: close enough to see each other, far enough to never talk. It's like ghosting, but you're sort of also semi-interacting with them. I think giving glimmers of hope is definitely worse than outright ghosting. Like, being like, I don't want to talk to you, but also, hello. Some might say, well, maybe a slow fade is better. I don't. I think cold turkey, serve that turkey up on a plate, slap, slip, slop, done. I'm more of an advocate of cold turkey, to be honest. Right. The next one, breadcrumbing. This is similar to orbiting, but you might make contact with that person. So breadcrumbing, just think of it like Hansel and Gretel. And if you haven't watched Hansel and Gretel or heard of it or read the story, maybe you're not old enough to listen to this podcast. There's this explicit content. So, no, I'm joking. But Hansel and Gretel, basically, they were children in a fairy tale, and they walked along and they dropped, I don't know what it was, gingerbread or something like that. Anyway, they dropped breadcrumbs, and then or did they follow breadcrumbs? Oh my god, now this is a plot twist because I can't remember. And then they get to a house made of gingerbread, so maybe they followed breadcrumbs. I think that was what happened. Because then there was a witch there, and that's a spoiler, by the way. I think she tried to eat them, but whatever. I think it's much worse than just being like it's like teasing, like teasing your dog and then just not giving them the treat. Yes, I just referred to myself as a dog. So I don't think ghosting's good. No. But I would arguably say that breadcrumbing is equally, but a bit worse. It's also known as like the slow fade or the slow ghost. Basically, like, I'm moving away from you slowly, but not enough that I'm ghosting you, but I'm not. I don't want it to be like I'm ghosting you, but also I am moving away so that I don't have to ghost you, but also I don't have to tell you that I'm not interested. So there we go. Sorry if you're listening on the audio, I was slowly fading away from the microphone. I probably didn't need to tell you that. That was kind of obvious. Okay. Last one. Love bombing. Now, this is the worst one, and it definitely sounds like the worst one. Love bomb. Drop that love bomb. So basically, it, again, says what it is, what it says on the tin. Someone comes in really intense, they're like, oh my god, love you, like, and the relationship at the start is really intense. Guys, apparently, this is always, literally always, a terrible sign. a highly intense relationship at the start apparently is very indicative of abusive relationships later on. So they basically, whether they know they're doing it or not, they lull that person, the vulnerable person, or maybe even not vulnerable, but just a person potentially vulnerable, in with severe over love for how much they know them. And, compliments, maybe gifts, and giving them lots of attention, making them, this person might not have felt good about themselves in their life, and the attention makes you feel great, like, obviously. And it's only not until later, until that person's kind of got you in their nest, that the kind of abusive behaviour starts. So apparently it's a thing. Not apparently, it is a thing in dating. I don't know how common it is in online dating, but if my past is anything to go by on online dating, I would say it's probably there, because my online dating past has been poor at best. It's been poor. Guys, I was going to conclude with the future of dating. I do have something to say. I said halfway I didn't know what I was going to say. Guess what? I figured it out. So, number one, a dating app's going to be part of the scene. Yes, I think they're here to stay. I think, however, I think, and I've seen on a blog website that I follow, that there's new apps coming around that are more to do with, they're more bespoke and niche. They're not like your Tinder and your Hinge. They are more like, do you like living in this certain way of life? So let's say you like living a slow, more fulfilled life, and you're into like simpler living, then we've got the app for you. And I think we're going to see more like niche dating apps coming out, and actually I think that's a great thing. Can you really have one dating app for everybody? No. Tinder is known as the fucking app, like, colloquially. I don't know anybody that's called it that except me, but it's the one that you go to if you want a quick bang. Bumble and Hinge are more known as the dating ones, the sort of long-term things, but if you want something that's really like, you don't want to sift through all of the people that you're not interested in, and you want somebody with like a specific way of life, that, I can see a big upcoming market in niche dating sites, because people are always going to want to date people. Like, it's literally, that's never going to get old or stop. I just don't see it happening. There are also some other niche ones, which are to do with like gender or non-gender, or your sexual preferences and things like that. So yeah, I think we're going to see more niching of, dating apps. I would love to see a return of asking people out in real life. I would. I really, really would. I just don't see it happening. Unless we start to move a bit more away from technology, but at the moment, technology's here to stay. It is. And it's much easier to date online. You know who's single, generally. You know who's interested, and you know a lot of stuff about them without having to like find it out. What I think would be good, now I don't think this is the future of dating, but I think it should be. I think we should have, this would stop people treating people like dicks. We should have a review system. I'm sorry, but we should. Why haven't we? I don't know. Maybe like a yellow pages, but we could call it like the red sheets or something. Red silky sheets. And yeah, you've got like, oh, he ghosted me, he was a real bellend. Well, it would actually keep people from being dickheads. Yes, people would abuse it, but they might, it's like we can leave customer reviews. I'm a customer. I didn't pay, but I am a customer. I think that's a great idea. Maybe I should start a dating app with reviews. Oh. You could get like testimonials. I'm just thinking how this would work, because I do think if, you'd have to sort of say to people, look, if you didn't get on, you need to bear that in mind, right? You don't leave a shit review for somebody who was nice, but you didn't, your opinions didn't meet up, or your lifestyles didn't meet up, or you wanted different things. That doesn't necessarily need to make it into the review. But what does is, did they treat you nice? Did they, I don't know, did they ghost you? But I don't know, that could be definitely open to some abuse, because it would, people that are abusive in relationships are often very nice at the beginning, so can we really go by that? But I guess you could get testimonials from their like previous partners. I mean, it would be tricky to navigate, but I'm loving it. I'd be well keen for that. Oh, I don't know, actually, I've thought about some bad things that would go on mine, and now I'm changing my mind. Ooh. People could write some quite mean things. I don't know, like, has a really weird belly button. Like, don't do that. Maybe it could be like more of a tick box thing, where it's like, did this person ghost you? Yes or no? Did they breadcrumb you? Yes or no? Rather than like, I thought their mole on their bum was disgusting. Because people who are hurt are people who will like to hurt. Right. The future of dating, I think that's it. I really do. The future of dating. I'm lost for words. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. I was gonna say what I was. Oh, was I gonna? I think we're still going to be doing the relationship series next week. Did I tell you? I'm sorry if I didn't. And you've probably not made it to the end, but if you have, hello, thank you. I don't know, give it a like on whatever, and then give it a review. That would be cool. But what I was going to say was, oh, by the way, if you have any topics you'd like me to discuss, like, shove them in the comments or send me an email or something or whatever. contact@diariesofadoctor.com. Yeah, I would love to have some topic ideas if they're relevant to the podcast, of course. Oh dear, I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh yeah, I was going to make an important announcement, which I should have made at the beginning. I'm very sorry. I am now uploading twice a week. I'm very sorry. 3 times a week, it just wasn't manageable. It really wasn't. I'm daily uploading on YouTube, which even that I'm thinking, is it too much? But look, we're still going. Plus 2 podcasts per week. And I do love podcasting, and it was becoming a chore. Uploading 3 times a week, it really was. It was becoming hard work, because as soon as I'd finished one, the next one would be like there, and I'd be like, oh my god, where have you come from? Twice a week, it's like 1 day difference, but it makes all the difference. Like, it really changes things. I don't know why. So look, I've made the decision. I'm going to go Monday and Thursdays, and then I'm just going to carry on like that for a bit. Most people only podcast once a week, so I'm doing pretty well. All right. So anyway, I'm sorry to give you that news. I'm sorry I forgot until the end and didn't tell you until this week, and I maybe should have released an episode just saying that, but I did say it on my YouTube videos, but whatever. But thanks guys for listening and watching. I hope to see you on Monday. Bye bye.